run back into the kitchen to try to finish this guy's potatoes. And then he pops back in and he's like, holds up a bag of Lay's. And he was like, hey, bud, I'm all good. I got these. It's like, don't worry about it. It's like, oh, great.
Don't worry, I'm bleeding out over here.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a good trip back.
Hello and welcome to Whipped Cream Salmon. I'm your boy Brian Bastanza, joined as always with my boy Ronnie Sanchez, co-noodle boys in the house.
Let's go.
This is Whipped Cream Salmon, the podcast where we talk about all things food, friends, and fuckery. Let's podcast. Ronnie,
How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? Had a good day?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you look good.
Brian's looking good. He's got his Ratatouille shirt on.
Yeah, I have a Ratatouille Hawaiian shirt on. Got my Charles the First tank on. Ball cap, chain, you know.
It's all fitted up.
That's it. It's pretty much it.
All fitted up.
That's pretty much what I'm about. I have a beer.
I need my beer.
Should we drink them?
Yeah, I got me a good old fashioned Pacifico.
Ooh, nice. Love that.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Deep River Brewing Kayak Kolsch.
Kolsch.
If that's how you say it. Kolsch?
Mm-hmm.
You ever had it?
Nope, not that one.
Well, we're going to find out, I suppose. Honestly, I got all these fancy beers for the pod, but typically I'd rather be drinking a Pacifico.
You know, I
sometimes I drink like 3 sips and then I'm like, it's fucking...
I know. I've come around this past year or so really strong where I'm like, you know, I think my IPA days and such are behind me.
Why is that? You don't like the flavor anymore?
I do, but I don't think it's as good as a crisp, cold Pacifico or something along those lines anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I've kind of always been that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. The hoppiness, like I like bitter stuff in food, but like the hoppiness is a turnoff for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say like I don't like the flavor of it anymore. I think under the right circumstances, I'm still going to order one. But at the end of the day, what I pick up at the store, I'm definitely leaning more towards the lighter spectrum of beers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like I'm not in
Singhas so much.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not interested in like microbrews anymore, but just specifically like the higher octane IPAs and stuff like that, I'm kind of tending to shy away from these days.
Well, it's cool of you to admit all that, Ronnie, and be vulnerable on the pod, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for accepting me.
I wish I could hug you right now. I would hug you so tight.
You can't hug me now, but you can hug me this weekend.
This weekend. Oh, by the way, I really fuck with this beer. It's awesome. And
great.
I'll crush a bunch of them, actually. So after saying all that, I'm a fancy beer guy again. Tell the folks about what we're doing this weekend, Ronnie.
I think we talked about it a little bit last weekend where we're going to the Asian Food Festival. Is that what it's called?
Asian Food Fest.
That's what it's called, right?
Straight into the point. Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem. It's supposed to be some big old food fest. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah. We're thinking afternoon, right? I mean,
yeah.
Get there, 3:34.
Yeah.
Do the evening there. Little appetizers. Ooh, little dumpling here and there. A little bao bun.
Mm-hmm.
A little Korean fried chicken, maybe.
Yeah.
And we'll settle in for a nice dinner.
Yeah, get some street dumps. Some street nudes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
I don't know. All kinds of stuff. That should be fun.
I'm bringing my bot.
Your your Thai currency.
Yeah,
I've got a little bit. I got some yen I can bring too.
they're like, well, we don't accept those.
They should.
Hey, come on.
Come on. Do you remember how to say how much in Thai? Tao lai?
Never knew it.
Yeah, we did.
Thai.
I think it's Tao lai.
I think so.
So like Tao lai bot.
It's not spelled with an L, for sure not. I think it's R, spelled with an R. They don't even have R's.
Well, they don't spell with American character or English characters. So
right, but they do. They do have, like, you can read stuff with American characters.
Yes, correct.
Like when they're describing something, they're like put in American or Western characters.
Yeah,
on the screen. But you're right, because there's a lot of U's in that language. Lots of
them. And there's
V's and U's, the whole thing. N's, it's all cursive.
there's it's confusing because there's a lot of, like, the same word you'll see spelt a lot of different ways because there is no direct translation to English because they don't use the same characters.
Right.
I think in Japan it's similar for words that don't have a direct translation.
Right. That's so interesting to me when cultures have words that, like, we just can't describe that exact thing.
Right.
With a word. It's like, it's fascinating. You're like, oh yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's not. And we're like, what? It's like new concepts in language is really fun.
Yeah, like there's that dish, radna, which is like
boogery shit.
Yeah, but that one that we had was super boogery. I've had them not super boogery. So for the listener, it's like it's a noodle dish. I think like whatever. It means like over face, and so it's like the pan fried noodles are like dry pan fried, and then it has like a thick gravy that goes over the top of it. And so we went to one spot that like one street stall, and they just go way too heavy with the cornstarch, and it was the like boogeriest consistency. Not
it's like
cool.
Melted Jello almost.
Dude,
like half melted Jello.
Yeah, no, it was not good or desirable.
Chunky liquid, if you've ever.
Yeah, it was not cool. It was not nice. I've had it not like that. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like super garlicky and spicy, and but that dish, I've seen it spelled radna with like RAD, and I've also seen it spelled ladna, LAD, and I think other ways as well, but they're all the same exact dish. They're just translated slightly different.
Right. And like there's probably I'm sure you get into like there's different like dialects and stuff, and
yeah,
I don't know, shit like that. We got people that speak almost completely different languages in the United States. You ever been to like the deep South?
Yeah.
Talk to one of those fools.
The Cajuns
on the bayou
living amongst us.
Yeah, they're different. Different.
Actually, when at one of the izakayas in Kyoto, there was a kid in the bar who's next to me, and he was Dutch, and he was asking about like the different dialects in America, and I was like kind of trying to do like impressions of New York and Texas and different places. And then
that's pretty funny. Yeah, go ahead.
And he was like, "What about Louisiana?" And I was like, "Oh, they're not real people."
Yeah,
the Cajuns I'm speaking of, it's like those are not. They're hardly Americans.
Yeah, they're swamped out.
That is a country all of its own.
Yeah,
that is a whole nother world.
They don't have land down there. They just like float on like they're like floating like buoys and shit. That's
swamp
like
people.
How they live. Yeah,
like literally
hovercraft. That's how they get to work.
Hovercraft. Fan boats.
It's
Yeah.
like, did you see the Avatar, the sequel to Avatar,
I haven't, no.
The Way of Water?
No.
So it's like this alternate Avatar world where instead of in the fly where they fly around on dragons, these are water people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same difference between a regular and a Louis, a bayou bum.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Have you been down there?
No, I would like to go though. I would
Should
like
go.
to go to the city for sure. It's supposed to be really an awesome time.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
It's supposed to be one of the better food cities in the country.
I've heard that. I love that style of that Cajun food though.
Yeah.
I feel like the people that I think about when I think about that area are not the people that I think about when I think about the food from that area.
Totally different.
Totally.
Also, when I'm speaking of like the swamp people, I'm not talking about like the people living in New Orleans. I'm talking about the people in the bayou.
Yeah. Born on a
The
bayou.
swamp people.
Some of them.
Yeah, the swamp things. Yeah, Emerald is not.
Jesse's trying to move out there.
Is he?
He's trying to be a bayou boy.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah. He wants to live cheaply.
Okay.
Get that.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know if, you're giving up a lot.
Yeah.
Go from Southern California to the bayou, I feel. But, to each his own.
To each his own, for sure.
Yeah. I had fried rice 2 nights in a row. Last night and tonight.
The same fried rice, or?
I'm getting to that, Ronnie.
Oh, okay.
Hold your horses, please.
Sorry. I'm excited.
I made some like kind of regular standard like white boy like Asian fried rice, soy sauce, little sambal, ginger garlic scallions. So I had some zucchini, so use that, a little egg, all the things. It was nice.
Okay.
And then today I looked in the fridge and I was like still looking at kind of the same shit. And tonight I made a I don't know. It was just not an Asian fried rice. It had kind of the same vegetables, but I had some zoog that I threw in there, which is nice.
Okay.
I also had some ham and some cheese that I threw in my fried rice.
Okay. You made a pilaf.
Yeah, but I fried it,
Okay.
It was pilaf.
Fried pilaf.
And then I fried it. Therefore, that's when it becomes fried rice, I think, after the frying process. Not sure, but yeah, we'll fact check that. If you listen to the fact check, we'll follow up on that. My question to you is that why don't other cultures make fried rice?
I don't know.
And I do have one that's kind of borderline, and there probably is more that I'm not thinking of. There are some, but I don't know. It's just such a delicious, simple thing, and you would think that type of thing would manifest itself in other cultures. Just like dumpling ravioli kind of manifests itself in multiple cultures. Breads kind of have like their similarities between cultures a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Fried rice, not so much. Rice, definitely.
Yeah, I guess
the thing I was thinking of is paella. Is the other?
Yeah, but it is very different because fried rice is exclusively made from leftover rice.
Right.
Yep. And in a culture where they eat rice just about every meal, it makes sense to utilize leftover rice in that way. Where, I mean, not that like Asia is exclusively eating rice compared to the rest of the world, but I would say they probably consume more than anywhere else.
That's where you think when you're like, hey, who's got the rice? Asia's got the rice. Who got the rice? Asia's got the rice. We're gonna make a song about who has it.
Who's got it? Who doesn't?
Yeah, you probably start there.
Okay.
The other one I was kind of thinking of is what's the name of that like Indian dish? where they like, and there's a name for the rice grains that end up crispy on the bottom of the. It's almost like a wok, but it's flatter than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's like I guess it's like a paella pan, but
yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a few. It creates like that sokarat, like on the bottom of the rice.
There you go, Ronnie, with the terms again.
Yeah, that
smarty pants.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like Middle Eastern dishes that do that as well. Korea has a dish as well. They're all kind of like cooked in like a clay pot, and then it creates that crust on the bottom of the rice. It is a technique that I've seen in like many different cultures.
Yeah, but still not many like. There's not really equivalent to like a fried, right?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah, maybe there is. Shoot us an email, y'all.
Yeah.
whippedcreamsalmon@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's hot on the streets.
Find us on our socials, Whipped Cream Salmon Podcast on Gmail, on Instagram.
People have no idea how to reach us. Is that a thing? Is that a problem that we've manifested? I
mean, we tell them every time. We'll drop our home addresses in the description. You can send us a letter.
That's cool.
You mentioned fact checking, and I meant to do this on the last pod because now this is like an issue that's been lingering for like 3 weeks. On my tip a couple episodes ago, I talked about a cookbook that I got.
Yep.
And
let me remember the name.
I called it Yardbird. It's not called Yardbird. The restaurant that it's from is called Yardbird. The cookbook is called Chicken and Charcoal. So if you've been searching for weeks for the cookbook that I recommended, you can finally rest easy because it's called Chicken and Charcoal.
It's funny you say that because, I mean, I have gotten some emails this week and they were all referencing that. They're like, hey, what is this book that Ronnie keeps talking about?
Yeah, I apologize.
I'm like, you're going to have to call him. Here's his number.
his personal phone number.
Yeah, call him, I don't know, noon.
Yeah, here's his home address, the hours that he's typically home and away.
Yeah, I give him all your information.
Thank you.
We can be giving out merch at the Agent Fest or what?
Yeah, should we do some guerrilla marketing out there? We can hand out some of our posters.
Yeah, we got some posters. We can hand them out. So that's what you just said. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, we could sign them.
Hand someone our poster. You're the lucky winner. Yeah, sign them. Like take a picture. They're like, "The fuck are those guys?
Who are you?" Listen, we got a pod.
Mm-hmm.
More than what you got. That's what I'll tell them.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. They might have a pod too.
Rising superstars.
Yeah. What have you been whipping up, young whippersnapper?
I haven't been cooking much this week, I don't think. Rochelle, we had some of the Momofuku noodles in the pantry, and
the instance.
Yeah, and they're really good quality noodles. They got like a really nice chew to them. They're a dried pasta. They're not. I think like the top ramen or maybe like fried noodles, but the Momofuku ones are dried. They're really nice. They come back really nicely and have a good chew to them. They're too expensive, but every once in a while you can find them on sale and they're worth it. But yeah.
How much for like a set for a single?
Well, they don't sell them in a single either. They sell, and I'm pretty sure they come in like I might be wrong, but I think they come in like a 5-pack, which is not a good number when you need like 3 packs or like 3 things of noodles like for 2 people. 2 is like, it's like barely enough for 2, but
let's hook it up.
Yeah, we bulked them up with some ground pork that we had, some scallions. I got that really nice bottle of soy sauce that I brought back from Japan. Kind of finished it off nicely, and some chili crisp. So yeah, it was a nice little dinner. But yeah, I haven't cooked a whole lot. There's been a lot of rain happening in Raleigh, and so
ton of rain here.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to get outside with the yakitori grill. It's it's like earthenware clay or whatever, so it's not conducive. It's not good to be wet. So I have to check the weather when I'm using that thing. Be careful because it can crack really easily. And then the smoker, I've had a desire to get that thing going, but kind of same thing. My weekends here have been pretty rainy, so I need a break in the weather so I can get outside and do some cooking.
Oh, I forgot to say we road tripped over this weekend.
Oh yeah,
we did a whole thing.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
It was pretty good. Yeah, Friday I drove up to New York, New Jersey area. Stayed with my mom. Went to my cousin's wedding. Shout out Hannah and CP. Congratulations, you're amazing. We had a really good time at the wedding.
Congratulations.
And then drove back Sunday. We had a little baby Mother's Day breakfast.
Nice.
At my mom's house with my sister and her kids, and that was really fun. And then hit the road back. So it was a really quick turnaround. Really fun wedding. It's on my uncle's has like a excavating company, and they kind of like built this new barn, and its first use case was the wedding, and it's like really, really nice, like super dope, like off-cut wood panels are the whole siding of the house. Actually, like my aunt and uncle's home is designed in the same way. It's really cool. It's a venue more than you would think of, like this is a work barn. It's like a full-on wedding venue.
Mm-hmm.
They got married. They actually booked a wedding. I think like one of the coordinators like booked another wedding with them. It's not that, I don't think that's the intention for the space, but I think it's an awesome space. They had a fancy porta potty, one of those ones with the, it's like a trailer with like heated seats and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never.
Not a porta potty. It's like a mobile restroom situation. Men's room, women's room.
Gotcha.
Food was mediocre.
Dude, as wedding food usually is.
I don't know. Well, we've cooked some really cool weddings.
Yeah.
We've worked about, we've done a lot at PJ's. I worked at the Mountain Magic Catering Co. That was one of my favorite summers of my life, dude. Actually. Yeah.
Catering can be a lot of fun.
So fun. It was like a lot of wear a lot of hats. There was only like the chef owner, his girlfriend at the time. They kind of ran the whole thing, and it was like 3 of us cooks, but we do like multiple events on a weekend, right? So, Friday we have 2 events, Saturday there's 3 events sometimes. So we'd like split off and do stuff. We'd all prep together and then split off and do stuff. But then it's always like a fun, like problem solving of like, where are we going to set up this kitchen? And how are we going to set it up so that the servers can run? So and servers would work like, just the chefs basically, right? It's like quick cash. It's really nice for them. I mean, we were always on the lake, really. Like, it's awesome. You're like grilling outside on the lake.
Yeah, that's cool.
You get to, there's a lot of like other stuff other than cooking, which it's kind of fun for, I don't know, even a cook who like is just bouncing around, like wants to bounce around and do different stuff. You got to pack up the trucks. We have to like wash and wax the trucks all the time. We, just setting up each other so that we always were like, had like a proper kitchen. So we had these like big trailers and we load them up and be like, oh yeah, this one needs a grill. This one needs 2 3 burners. This one needs whatever. They all need tables. They all need kits as far as like chef knives and like cooking equipment, but also like front of the house kit. A lot of times, and we do like these platters and stuff. We always did these cantaloupes and melons that we like cut like shark teeth kind of pattern.
Oh yeah,
and then like fill them with stuff. I think we fill them with like other fruit.
What is it? There's a name for that. The
shark tooth.
Well, no, just like that. Like practice of like carving fruit and stuff. It's super old school. The first country club I ever worked at, there was like this old Mexican dude that worked there, and that was all he did was just make like watermelon baskets, and he'd like, you know, with a little like bird's beak paring knife, you know, and he'd just like carve out like really intricate detail in the like the rind of the watermelon, make like roses and stuff. And
it's cool.
I remember he made one, it was like carved it out, but like left like a handle of the basket, like it was all the watermelon rind.
That's really cool. That's a great job.
Yeah, and there was like intricate detail all along the whole handle, and then it was filled with, you know, like strawberries that were, you know, turned to look like roses, and melon balled melons, you know, all kinds of fruit and stuff in there. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting.
Yeah, these were not that intricate. I mean, these were
right. Yeah.
But I mean, it is satisfying to like. It's not as trivial as like I kind of make it sound, because like it's super satisfying when you like you line up your cuts so that they are perfectly spaced, and when you like nail that like up to do the connect, and they're all like perfect, like that's really satisfying. It doesn't, you know, takes a while to get there, I feel.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
yeah, that's cool. I haven't done anything like that in a long time.
Yeah. We used to like also carve tri-tip and carve chicken, whatever, like live. I love that stuff too. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's fun. There's a lot of waiting around in catering too.
Yeah.
Like hurry up and wait is
at
like
times, but you're chilling. People always got beers. There's always beers.
Yeah. You're so busy until you're not, and then there's like nothing for anybody to do. You know, you're like waiting for the speeches to be over, and you know, the best man speech goes on for 30 minutes, and you're just like sitting there waiting, you know. Mom comes out, she's got to like say something. Like, come on.
Grandma comes out with her walker. She's so slow.
Yeah, it's like your salmon is getting cold. Come on, Grandma.
Yeah, or even just like the hors d'oeuvres time where you're just like, you know, if it's like 100-person wedding, you know, like you're firing like 10 skewers at a time. You got some like little kind of past like little puff pastry things or whatever, right? You're like,
yeah,
it's like zero work to put out hors d'oeuvres for that many people.
Yeah.
If there's 2 of you, you know, like definitely not. You also have like servers there that are just like waiting around.
Yeah.
Or like wanting to help and like to build stuff. But anyway, I just really liked that type of work. It's really like, I don't know. I like wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah, it can be fun. At one of the country clubs I worked at in Tahoe, we did a good amount of like catering, wedding stuff like that. But I remember one event they sent, it was an uncommon thing, but they sent just me out to, it was on a golf course, and they sent me out to like one of the holes on the golf course, and there was like a little like shed, kitchen, like open grill and stuff off the back side of one of the greens, and it was like a little pond there, and there was like a picnic area, and people could reserve that area after hours for, you know, after the golf course closes, for like private parties. And so I got to go out there, and I think I just had like, I don't know, like I think it was maybe a tri-tip or something, and then, you know, prepped some other things and grilled up some veggies for them. But yeah, I remember that night they were like an hour and a half late, and I was just sitting on this dock. It was like getting pitch black out there, just waiting for them to show up. But they eventually did. It was like a family of like 7 or 8 people, and just grilled up some steaks for them and hung out. And when I was done, I cleaned up and I got out of there. And I left them there. So, yeah,
$20,000.
I don't think it was that much, but it was a bougie place. So they probably paid a pretty penny for it, I'm sure.
Does that have members? You have members there?
Yeah. Oh, homeowners. Yeah.
Homeowners.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's so that's such an interesting world. You gotta you gotta pay membership dues of $200,000 a year to be in the club.
Yeah.
Just to hang out.
Yeah. Well, the CEO of Squaw at the time, he had a house there. He lived there. But then also, I remember you'd have people just like, there was this one guy, he would just like barge into the kitchen and he's like, hey, can I get a roast beef sandwich with, on American? It was like, well, I don't have roast beef. Like, well, we had a prime rib, yesterday for some dinner or whatever. You'd have to like go and take the leftovers and throw it on the slicer and make that guy a roast beef sandwich. You just kind of like had to make shit happen. It's kind of a crazy experience.
Were you telling that story of having to make potato chips?
That was at PJ's, and I sliced my hand open, or I jammed my thumb straight into the mandolin blade. It was one of the executives was there for like some meeting.
Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
It wasn't him. It was one of his cronies. But he popped in and was like, "Hey, bud, can I get some potato chips for the road?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, I don't. How
about fries?
Just have potato, huh?
How about fries? They're kind of the same.
Yeah, can I get you French fries? Yeah, so I had to go quickly grab a potato. Obviously, I was busy. I was always busy there. I was like mandolin a single potato into the fryer, and I jammed my thumb into the blade of the mandolin. And then it was like bandaging it up or whatever. I like run back into the kitchen to try to finish this guy's potatoes. And then he pops back in and he's like holds up a bag of Lay's and he was like, "Hey, bud, I'm all good. I got these." It's like, don't worry about it. It's like, oh, great.
Don't worry, I'm bleeding out over here.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a good trip back. God,
yeah.
Brutal.
It is brutal.
We talked a little bit about maybe camping or something. Got a couple birthdays coming up.
2 birthdays.
Yeah.
R&R birthdays.
Yeah, Rochelle and I were 2 days apart. We were talking about maybe going camping somewhere.
I want to go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're part of it.
I'm part of the trip?
Part of the trip, yeah.
What's the place that you want to go the most?
I don't know. I've had this idea since we first moved to North Carolina about like camping on the beach. I've been having some car troubles, truck troubles, and don't think that that's going to happen. But I don't know, maybe if there's like a beach camp area somewhere, it'd be really fun to do some shore fishing and maybe cook up our catch.
That's cool.
Grill it up on the beach. It's an idea.
In the ocean?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I would like to do that.
I don't really know about that stuff, so you gotta take the reins, I think, is something that people say.
I've got a fishing pole. I can at least throw something out there and see. We can do some research, but
we get some bait.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like the bait.
And then if we don't catch, the best part about the bait is if you don't catch anything, you can eat the bait.
Yeah, or just play with it.
Just play with it, just dead squids.
Squids?
Yeah, I'm sure they eat squids.
Live squids. I think we should get live squids.
I don't know where to find a live squid.
Probably the ocean, Ronnie.
I don't know how to catch those ones. I know where to.
Right. So that's the whole thing, right? You got to catch the bait.
What do you catch the bait with?
Do squids even eat?
They definitely, they eat, they eat fish.
They have a beak.
Uh-huh.
If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
They don't eat fish. They're not.
They definitely eat fish. Actually,
you think they're
I
I was
actually
gonna say
recently
cannibals. That's not the word.
Carnivores.
Carnivore is the word.
Yeah. I actually recently witnessed in person squid eating fish. So I can confirm.
See, I'm thinking of like tiny squids.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, I can't picture the tiny fish that they would eat.
Yeah, they're really just like they're like a normal fish, but smaller, like a smaller version of like a sardine.
They probably eat eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, fish eggs. Not Sunnyside eggs. They don't. They probably don't have skillets and stuff for that.
I don't think they do that. No, when I was at the Osaka aquarium, they were feeding the squid tank.
The baby fish?
No, they were just throwing in like dead fish. They were floating down and they were eating them up.
What do you think the strangest animal is?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely lives in the well. I was gonna say it lives in the ocean, but a platypus is pretty goddamn weird.
So weird.
So weird.
It doesn't fit into any animal category nicely.
It sweats milk.
That cannot be true.
It really does. It really
sweats milk.
Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. We're looking it up right now.
It really does. They're also like they're blind. It's a mammal, but then they
platypuses sweat milk from their skin instead of having nipples, allowing their young to lap it up from the grooves in their fur. Oh my god. Like you got a beak, you got fins, you lay eggs, you're poisonous? They're poisonous, right?
Their back legs are poisonous, but they're also mammals? How are they mammals if they lay eggs?
They're furry. That's where it gets super confusing. They breathe air. But you're right. I mean, when I was taught about mammals in school, we learned live birth. That's what we learned.
Yeah. And also, it makes sense that they sweat their milk because they have beaks, so they would not be able to latch onto the nipples.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But like other things with beaks survive, so.
But not via milk. Is it the milk that makes them the mammal? No, because
I think the fur.
What?
Okay, usually if you have fur, you're a mammal. Now, not all mammals have fur.
Yeah, I guess not.
Dolphins,
all mammals.
Whales don't have fur.
Yeah, I don't think whales make milk either.
But all land mammals have fur.
We don't have fur.
We have hair.
That's okay.
Elephant, questionable. They do have hair though.
I don't think that the fur is what makes them a mammal or not.
You don't think you're a mammal?
I am, but
okay.
Do you think
I mean, it's an unsolved mystery, really. I mean,
can you make platypus cheese?
You have to wring the thing out. It's crazy. You'd have to have this like specialty comb and like, yeah. And then it just goes everywhere into the water. They get it in the water?
No, it's in their folds.
I'm not going to do this on the pod, but I need to learn more about this thing. It must be like, is it the females that excrete milk when they're sweating? Is it only during nursing, or are they always just sweating milk? I mean, it sounds like an awful time. Like, imagine like, I don't know, it's a hot day, you go for a walk and you just start like sweating milk out of your, that would be rancid.
Yeah, that'd not be a good thing to sweat.
It's got to be one of the worst things to sweat. I mean, we're not doing that, but there's probably some other bad things to sweat. Rancid, though.
Yeah, next week we'll list their top worst things to sweat.
I wasn't thinking platypus. I was thinking of, pretty adjacent to the squid. I was thinking of the octopus.
Yeah, what about it?
Strange.
They don't have milk, I don't think.
Yeah, in a sense, they fit more comfortably into a category. But they are so alien. You see that film, My Octopus Teacher?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
It is.
I love watching them. I don't know if they actually change their texture. Do they?
They do.
They actually conform that way, right? Like they are now.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not the texture of the rock, but looking like the rock.
I think that they do like create spines and stuff on their like ridges on their skin to look more rock-like or whatever they're conforming to.
It's really cool.
Do octopus lay eggs? They do, right? From where, though?
Their beak. I mean, it's the only entrance.
They just spit it out?
Exit.
They just spit it out their mouth? I don't know. Gosh, there's so much I don't know.
This was our animal talk segment of whipped cream salmon. Thanks for listening. We have like some sound effects that are like a bunch of like safari animals. Like you hear like an elephant go. That wasn't a good version of it. Of course, we did a real one. Some like monkey sounds, maybe like a dog barking. That could be our intro sound to the segment.
To introduce the segment?
Animal time.
I like this segment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it fits right into the like scope of our podcast. We're like food, friends, fuckery, and weird animal facts. Yeah. And I think it'll really take off. I mean,
nice.
All right. Yeah. Next week we'll do this. You got to find a weird animal fact.
A weird animal fact. Okay. Yeah. I might go deep on a weird animal.
Okay.
Settled done. Y'all heard it first. Congratulations.
Join us next week as Brian goes deep on a weird animal. Yeah. All right.
That was weird the way you said that. I mean, I'll be honest.
What are you? Idiot.
You stupid idiot.
I'm an idiot sandwich.
You're an idiot. Of all the idiots, you stand alone.
It's the idiot sandwich.
It's the idiot sandwich.
It is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I have a one that I read that's non-kitchen related. Again.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. I used to work in a hardware store. That was the only place in town to buy plumbing and electrical supplies. We were in a lovely old building. While cutting wire for a customer, a spark ignited something. So we called the fire department and evacuated the building. I don't fully get that part. I mean, that part of the story could be elaborated on a little bit. I don't know how cutting a wire starts a spark that catches fire in the building and they have to evacuate. I'm going to move on from there.
Like an explosion?
Yeah. Let's just assume for the case of this story that the building's on fire. All right. While waiting for the fire department, we were all waiting out front on the sidewalk. Up comes a regular. He tries to get into the building. We tell him no, can't go in there as there's a fire. He starts in with, I just need to grab XYZ and it'll only be a minute. We keep telling him no, there's a fire in there. This went on for long enough that I started to wonder if he understood what fire meant. It took the fire truck arriving and the hose going into the building for him to stop trying to get in.
Well, I mean, the man knows what he wants, so.
Congratulations, because you can't just have XYZ.
No.
The building's on fire. If you want to be brave and there's someone that's caught in the fire and you're trying to get them out, I'll listen to your protest, but not to get XYZ. Whatever that is.
Not even once.
Never heard of that part, to be honest.
Not even once.
So, congratulations. You will be receiving your sandwich very soon.
Idiot sandwich. Congratulations.
Yeah, priority. 2 days.
And now I need to read a couple of these because I don't know what mine's going to be.
Ronnie's figuring it out, just like the rest of us.
All right, I got a kind of a funny one here. This is a submission from Gina Verhegi, chef at Toscanini. I don't know.
Costaninis.
She says, when I first started working in a restaurant, I worked the dessert station. One evening, we served a lemon sorbet with meringue. The meringue needed to be caramelized. I spent the whole night caramelizing it with salt instead of sugar, making our sweet dessert savory. I have to add that I had very little experience working in the kitchen, so I didn't notice that caramelizing with salt wasn't really working. One of the members of our waitstaff told me that the meringue looked a bit funny. When she found out what had gone wrong, she couldn't stop laughing. I was so embarrassed. Not one guest complained. Perhaps I invented salted caramel that night. It's not so bad when you think about it. During that evening, I learned that you can't ever assume that you're doing it right when you're working in the kitchen. You always have to taste your ingredients. That is hilarious.
Bonus tip too. Taste your shit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, that's a funny story.
That's
for
pretty
sure.
funny.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
sandwich. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Gina.
And
now, so whipped cream sandwich is cool for cooks that don't cook good.
How do you do it? Let me hit you with some knowledge. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Ooh.
I love this segment. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, so I have spent many, many years insisting that I am terrible at sharpening knives. And I still believe that. But with enough effort and persistence and the help of YouTube and the proper equipment, this weekend I successfully sharpened my knives better than I ever have. And with that, my tip is to get yourself a set of whetstones and go to YouTube and find somebody that is good at sharpening knives.
Practice. So much practice.
Yeah, my daily driver chef knife that I've had for years and put to work a lot in the restaurants. I'd been sharpening it, but I was just like not getting the proper edge. And what I found was that I needed like a full bevel grind on it to actually thin the blade because, just like a pencil, if you're writing with it and it gets up to the wood, well, it's going to be harder to get it to a tip. You need to actually shave the wood away as well, So it's kind of the same principle with the knife. You have to shave down the sides of the steel, and it wasn't easy. Japanese steel is very fucking hard, but I did it.
Nice.
And my knife is sharper than it's been in a very long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I also got 2 new knives this weekend.
I saw a picture of them.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Pretty cool.
What are they? Tell me about them.
One is a petty knife, which is it's like longer than a paring knife, but it's 135 millimeters, whatever that means. Not in inches and feet, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a small knife good for, I don't know, turning vegetables or small, strawberries, scallions, things like that. Anything like kind of like small knife work. The other one is called a honsuki, which is specifically for butchering chickens. And I have another one, but it's not as cool as this one.
Honsuki.
And I wanted it. So that's why I have it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really excited about it.
I heard that the Jersey Shore had a Suki as well. Is that confirmed?
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay. I have a rack, an equipment
I think that was
rack.
Snooki.
Oh,
Nice. Go ahead.
you're right. I have an equipment rack. This is a rack that I'm going to be giving to myself because I have not yet followed this recommendation. But go out and get yourself a couple of sizzle platters. If you don't know what a sizzle platter is, it's like it's a small oval. Probably the long side is, I don't know, 12 inches from end to end, oval shaped, kind of bowed. Is that a word?
It's kind of like a lip. It's like a plate. It's like a steel plate with a lip around the whole thing.
Yeah. Sides are higher than the center. That's a way to say that. Really nice for, especially at the house. Like if you're often like grabbing like a sheet pan to do stuff, but you're only like one person or a couple, like it's kind of really nice to just throw something on a sizzle plate, throw it in the oven instead of like having to have like bigger equipment that doesn't really fit the job that you're trying to do. So it's a really cool piece of equipment and not that expensive. And go to town, y'all.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, in the restaurants, we use it a lot. Like, I don't know, take some bacon, throw it on there, throw it in the oven, or you're searing a steak and put it on your sizzle platter, finish it in the oven. Same with like a fish or anything like that. Maybe some like roasted potatoes thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a good, handy little, it's like a, little pan for your oven.
It's a little pan for your oven, y'all. Sizzle platter. It might have another name too, but no one knows it.
Probably does. And with that, we thank you for listening.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Much appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us up, whippedcreamsalmon@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Whipped Cream Salmon Podcast. And it was a pleasure podcasting with you, Ronnie. And let's keep podcasting into the future.
Podcast on.
Pod on.
Stay creamy. Love you. Bye.
Bye.